What is good, team? We are in for the final session of this run up to Nationals. Today being Friday, show being Sunday. Had a couple of rest days in the lead up to this. Nice upper body pump session today, just to get the blood moving. We're in here AM fasted. Again, just like I mentioned in my stories, if you're watching on my Instagram, just to prime the muscles, increase a little bit of insulin sensitivity to drive up that glucose or glycogen restoration ahead of today's carb up, which is very exciting. So get a little bit extra food today, which is nice. So this is a pretty straightforward session. We're just kind of using the same exercises we had done previously for time efficiency. We're basically just doing supersets. So it's a vertical pull down, horizontal pull with a chest fly, and then a pressing movement. So pretty easy session. Not going to do anything crazy. 2 to 3 reps in reserve on everything, 10 to 15 reps, so just enough to get a nice pump and get the blood moving. Nothing to increase like soreness or create any excess muscle damage that we don't need, because we want to be fresh for Sunday. So getting stuck into this will be first work set, 10 to 15 reps, wide neutral grip pull down, and then onto the chest supported row. But I'll show you the machine we're using on this one. I've been doing chest supported row this entire program, but we've got the really cool M-Torture machine here. The new tech equipment is absolutely insane, and we've got the opportunity to use it, so why not? Probably never get to use it again anywhere else. So I'll show you guys how that one looks. So, nothing crazy, just enough to get the blood moving, and as Coach Dean says, stimulate, don't annihilate. So really, I think the big mistake I see a lot of people making, especially in the peak week or lead up to show, is like really destroying themselves. And I think as you get closer to the stage, your ability to recover is hampered. Fatigue is quite high already towards the back end of prep. So for all intents and purposes, like the simplest and easiest method to peak yourself for a show is to deload. To use that last week as a deload, where you aim to reduce output from cardio, from steps, from training, reduce the stimulus, and increase food to facilitate better recovery. And that's as simple as it needs to be. I see far too many people in the days leading up to the show, rinsing themselves in the gym, dieting more, doing more cardio, doing all this crazy shit in an effort to bring about some different changes or make some final adjustments to their physique, when all the work is done. That last week is there to really just dissipate that fatigue, reduce inflammation, reduce stress, and that 9 times out of 10 will bring a better physique to stage than trying to do more. So in this instance, I can talk, less is more. All right, so exercise 2 of this sequence, chest supported row. Again, we're opting for things that are really stable, just to maximize output, reduce risk of injury, and just reduce overall fatigue. This new tech chest supported row, my God, probably one of the best chest supported rows I've ever used, and probably one of very few gyms in the world that have it. So I'm gonna give it a try, because why not? So 10 to 15 reps here. Again, nothing crazy, 2 to 3 reps in reserve. Wow, that is nice. Alright, back is done. 4 working sets in total, 2 sets paired, vertical and horizontal. Onto chest. Same here, 4 sets, 2 exercises paired back to back, starting with the press. By far one of my favorite exercises, the prime incline machine press. So with the resistance profiles on these, I'm just keeping everything middle peg. So what we know specifically about fatigue mechanism is basically that length and position exercises do create more muscle damage, create more systemic fatigue, localized fatigue, which we don't want. So again, for this, I'm just keeping it middle peg biased. I'm going to use the prime fly as well. Again, it's middle cam bias, so not overly crazy aggressive in the stretch, just kind of through that mid-range, which will hopefully keep us nice and fresh, nice pump, and not too much damage here. Don't be silly, bro. You're all good, you're all good. One more. Yeah, baby. Oh, that's nice. Feels nice to get a pump. Certainly the flattest and leanest I've been, and the lightest I've been on this prep too. But it doesn't take much for me to get a pump realistically. I've only got about 30 grams of carbs rolling into a workout with that Gatorade, but more so the sodium doing the trick and the hydration. So 600 mils of water in this morning, 600 mils of Gatorade, and I think a total of about 2 grams of sodium plus some potassium. So I think more so a little bit of carbohydrates does the trick, but that sodium, potassium and hydration certainly does the job more so to shuttle those nutrients in order to get a better pump. So certainly nice to get it done this morning. But one more set here on each, and then some bicep, triceps and some delts, and we are done. All right, so we're finishing upper body off. I'm gonna go lateral delts first on their own. And you guys saw this one the other day and I couldn't pass it up because it is by far the coolest thing I've ever used. The standing NewTek lateral raise machine, 2 sets, 10 to 15 reps here. And then we'll go on to some bicep, tricep stuff, which we'll likely use, I think, probably the prime preacher curl. And there's some really cool Atlantis overhead tricep extensions, so I might use one of those. Because why not? All right, delts done, bicep, tricep, superset to finish. As I mentioned, I've been doing preacher curl this whole time, so I'm just gonna stick with that. I'm just gonna do this bilateral just to save time, because I wanna get some posing in after this. So 2 sets here, 10 to 15 reps, and then just bilateral push downs. Again, been doing this whole program. I'm gonna keep that pretty static. So this one, just because we've got the cool prime machine to use, keeping the cam setting on 1 so it's middle biased. Again, avoiding excessive fatigue. 10 to 15 reps here, let's do it. Alright, so training is done. I'm gonna run through some posing now. Last little final touch-ups before we hit the stage on Sunday, so I'll show you guys how we're looking. This will probably go on the vlog and potentially on Instagram as well, so let's have a squeeze. All right, that is us done. Last session in the books before we hit the stage on Sunday. So as always, guys, appreciate the support. If you get any value from the content at all, please make sure you like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for check-ins, 10, and then show day Sunday. Peace.